Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for experimental build 1 of update 114 of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Oh no! Fast reload! Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, when I start off a update cycle, I always like to go back and do a bit of bug fixing, a little bit of quality of life improvements. So a bunch of that is in this update. But before we do that, let's take a look at, I had a spur of the moment, I'm going to add that in, toy moment. This was requested a while back. This is our big FRANKIN 50. I know there's already a 50 BMG Bolty, but this one is just... I mean, just look at it. Do I need to say anything? This is a pipe with a handle, but it is a very angry pipe with a handle. I know it. There's a bunch of insensitive humor that I could make about this and a slap round, which I won't, because that's mean. But anyone who follows gun tube events and memes knows what I am talking about. Let's just throw a dot on this. But yeah, super minimalist 50. Let's take a shot. Ammo. Got some new handling audio in here for it, like so. Wonderful. To go with that, the other stuff that I did for there we go. This week was tuning the way a couple things work. So those of you who have played around, let's actually pull a different part of the toolbox out here. Let's get our portable item spawner. Remember, for those of you who haven't played with the toolbox, you can just find it under spawn tools, spawn toolbox. But let's say we were setting ourselves up a range with a bunch of barriers. There were a couple things that were suboptimal about that and glitchy that have now been fixed. One of them is that for barriers like this, which default cannot be normally grabbed, but you can laser grab them like so, what would happen basically is that after dropping one of these, it would lose its physicality in regards to the player. That has now been fixed. This now actually stops me from going through it. I also added a bit of a quality of life feature in that these artificially have their center of mass lowered, which does look a little goofy with this, but it basically means if you end up like hitting one with a gun, it won't just fall onto one side and just have to be reset if you haven't locked it. Remember, if you're setting up ranges and wish to lock things in place, you just have to set things using boop. Just have to physics lock them like such, and then now this can't be pushed over. So that is what the locker tool is for. The other thing that was changed for folks who are doing, say, setting up things with the solid walls and wanting to, let's delete this. We want you gone. Deletos. Whap, gone. Is for folks who have, say, been duplicating wall segments and specifically want to create a larger area and want walls to match up exactly with each other. The tractor tool has been altered so that it now ignores for its like placement cast other dynamic walls like this. Before, it treated these like the environment. It doesn't anymore, so you now can actually come up here, and if you want to place a wall slightly intersecting another like this, just to get absolutely like perfect visual coverage like so. If I then wanted to grab Rotato here, grab this, set that to be exactly 90 degrees, grab Tractor, bring this over here. You can now do that and actually clip those objects into each other, and it shouldn't physics glitch on you anymore. So much needed quality of life improvement for that. Grab all of our tools. We actually don't need these anymore, so let's just delete these. And then two other little quality of life improvements. I have changed the way that magazine ejection works on, is controlled on bolt actions. There was an annoying little bug, basically, some of you may have dealt with this, where if you went to laser grab a bolt action, especially if you're using classic controls, were holding down on the touchpad down and went to pick it up like this, the magazine would immediately be drop out because of the fact that you're holding the touchpad. That no longer happens. That's been fixed. The other thing as well for for bolt actions, there is an, I don't know if you folks know, how many of you know this, but there's an ability when you pull the bolt back and open, if you hold down the touchpad or the AX button and pull this back. Let's see if I'm holding the right part of it. Nope, that was not the correct part. Let's try again. Yoink, there we go. I forgot what it was in classic controls. Basically, when you're pulling it back, it pops the round that was in the chamber into your hand instead of ejecting it, which is super useful for guns like the Mosin, where we might want to be topping the gun up like such. But the way it worked before is it would also grab empty shells being pulled out. It now actually behaves how you would expect and want it to. So yeah. So I think that just about does it for our low quality of life updates. As I said, just sort of like small update just to get back in the groove, back on the experimental branch with things. In terms of what I'm planning to work on next, I've been mocking up the next level that is going in, as well as basically like getting my head back into a whole bunch of the various sort of like toolbox and scenario creation tools, because I would like to continue to expand that and get back to some of the stuff that I had been ideating about for Game Planner. But step one of that process has actually been just like getting back into this code base, remembering what I built in the first place, and seeing if there aren't a bunch of like little things that I can improve along the way as I get spooled back up for this. So there you have it. So hope you folks have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Peace.